fever. We wanted to keep with the cat theme, but we also wanted to make it a little more memorable, so instead of using a regular house cat, we decided to center the scene around our majestic feline friend, Bart the leopard. This is going to take place on Bart's balcony, which, as you'll see, has a pretty cool view. And let's draw Bart relaxing here on his pedestal. Notice how his pillow is a nice reddish color? Well, we did this to remind you that Bartonella is gram-negative. But even though it's technically gram-negative, a special stain is required to visualize it. The stain is called the Wartharin starry stain, and it's a type of silver stain. So to help you remember this, we're going to use Van Gogh's Starry Night painting. If you don't know what Van Gogh's Starry Night painting is, well, you should Google it. Anyway, we're going to change it a little and use more silvers to remind you that this is a silver stain. Alright, now let's move on to the two diseases caused by Bartonella. The first, and the really simple one, is cat scratch disease. To go over this, we'll bring in Bart's owner, this princess, and we'll have her petting Bart. Obviously, Bart's a little bit moody. Having a pet leopard has its costs, and our princess has been scratched on the arm by Bart. And this, of course, shows you how cat scratch disease is transmitted, through cat scratches. I think that was pretty obvious, and the fact that it's called cat scratch fever might clue you into the fact that you get a fever. So the only real thing that's unique that our drawing can help you remember is that cat scratch disease can also involve regional lymph nodes. And typically they cause these painful enlarged lymph nodes, especially in the axilla. Just given a history of somebody who owns cats or recently adopted a kitten and now has swelling of lymph nodes in one arm, you should be able to pick this up even without them telling you that there is a cat scratch. To help you remember this lymphadenitis, especially of the axilla, we've made our princess's clothing all bunched up into balls around her axilla, resembling enlarged lymph nodes. And just as a side note, cat scratch disease occurs in people who are immunocompetent, or healthy people, just like our princess. The other disease caused by Bartonella, bacillary angiomatosis, only occurs in immunocompromised people. So we'll use another character on the right to help you remember this. Notice his hand is scratched too? Well, that's because bacillary angiomatosis is also transmitted through cat scratches or cat bites. And besides fevers, chills, and headaches, patients with bacillary angiomatosis develop raised red vascular lesions all over their skin. And to help you remember this, we're going to draw little red dots all over his clothing. Remember, bacillary angiomatosis only affects immunocompromised patients, commonly HIV-infected patients. So to help you really keep this straight, we're going to include our immunocompromised symbol. It's a cane. Another important disease process that's very similar to bacillary angiomatosis is Kaposi sarcoma. Both of these occur in immunocompromised patients, especially HIV patients, and both present with these red vascularized lesions on the skin. If you see these lesions, you can't really jump to any conclusion until a skin biopsy has been performed. And again, you can stain it with that Wartharin starry silver stain, and this can help you make that distinction. The treatment for bacillary angiomatosis is doxycycline. To help you remember this, we'll include our standard recurring symbol, the bicycle wheel. Since it's purely a visual mnemonic and doesn't really make sense in the context of the story, we've put it right front and center to really help it stick out and help you remember it. Cat scratch disease is usually self-limiting and doesn't require treatment, but if there is swelling and pain from the lymph nodes really becomes severe, then azithromycin can be used. You can also use macrolides to treat bacillary angiomatosis as well. So to help you remember, macrolide is the treatment option for either. We'll use the macrolide crows, our recurring symbol for macrolides. Let's draw them flying in the sky over here. And that's it. That's the story of Bart the leopard.